without infrastructure. Those are the aggressive words being used by the National Hurricane Center this morning.
If we do have any changes with the numbers, we'll of course be bringing it to you. It's not been dropped yet, but we want to go live into Jamaica. We've been taking a look at Spanish Town and Kingston. We're going to go ahead and take Kingston's camera right now as the harbor. We've seen this since really yesterday. Whitecapping, right? The harbor, which is generally speaking a slightly quieter part of the bay. It's surrounded mostly by land, but unfortunately, even the winds that we have with Melissa, while the core of Melissa is going to miss Kingston, which is some good news for Kingston, it's bad news for their friends and neighbors farther west in the parish of St. Elizabeth. The eye wall of Melissa is a sight to behold on satellite. And those are the tools that we have at our disposal. We also have the hurricane hunters, which continue to fly through this storm. Tropical storm force winds have already been reported at the international airport in Kingston, which is Norman Manley. A 39-mile-per-hour sustained wind there. It gusted upwards of 60 miles an hour, 58 miles is technical. The advisory, still waiting on it, still showing the 9 o'clock numbers, but the storm's still moving. Melissa's not going to stop, and it will be approaching Black River, the eye wall itself moving ashore now, but the center probably around the noontime hour. I mean, we're just a couple of hours away from that center moving ashore, and as we watch, just remarkable how this storm has been able to maintain its intensity since really 2 days ago when it became a major hurricane. I'm distracted because we just got the new numbers in, Britta.
Okay, so let's go ahead and bring up the new numbers again.
Even stronger.
Happening in real time. 185-mile-per-hour winds, pressure down to 892.
So it's even stronger. It is now as strong as the 1935 Labor Day hurricane, which dropped down to 892 millibars. This thing is still strengthening. The third most intense hurricane on record. We only have two that were stronger. We've got Wilma from 2005, and we have Gilbert from 1988. That's a remarkable stat that we have. And the winds also being ticked up because that pressure was dropping.
Of course. Be talking about a storm that finds itself in the ranks of the Labor Day hurricane of 1935. If you're familiar with the Florida Keys, there is a tremendously famous railroad that is in shambles. Beautiful bridge by Bahia Honda cut in half. I actually have a photo of me and my husband right by it. It is a classic staple of the Keys. That railroad was demolished and taken out by the Labor Day hurricane. You're talking about forces of nature that are rarely seen on the globe. So this is a historic moment, not just for Jamaica, but for the Atlantic Basin in regards to tropical weather. Here's a look at the brave men and women that are getting the data for us. That's how we're getting these updates of this internal pressure dropping so dramatically low.
We just had the NOAA hurricane hunters. They went through the center deriving some of that data. It was interesting because the Air Force, I can actually show you their recon. We're able to show it to you graphically. Of course, they're outside of the center. Pay attention to where that's at. They'll be making another pass, and they'll punch that core twice, right? They go through the eye wall twice. It was that second punch as they were moving out of it where the pressure dropped to 892 millibars, and that's what we're seeing reflected in this latest advisory. So because of the hurricane hunters, we're able to see it. I wanted to look back on infrared, though, because it does look like, I might be splitting hairs here, but it looks like maybe around the eye, we're beginning to see some warming take place, and that might be an indication of this eye wall trying to go through that process of replacing itself.
There's been multiple hints of an eye wall replacement cycle trying to get itself going, but these hints end up just kind of staying as hints. And at this point, time is limited. I mean, the landfall, the process is occurring right now. That northerly eye wall is starting to work its way on shore. The technical landfall, of course, probably 2 hours away at this point.
Yeah. Hard to get data out of St. Elizabeth's Parish here when we're talking about wind speeds, how much rain has fallen so far, but notably with this part of